What's up, YouTube? How's it going? This is Michael Makinde. In this video, I will be showing and sharing with you our expectations for the new week, especially on US30, NAS100, SP500, and Gbpusd. And if we have some time, we can look into the German 40 index. We had NFP yesterday for the month of January, came in positive, even though there were some ups and downs. But primarily, we're more focused about the long-term move of some of these indices, okay? My strategy is the multiple time frame analysis, well, which is what they also call top-down analysis, where you look at the charts primarily from the higher time frame and then you scale down gently, patiently, and carefully so that you can see the overall direction where the market is planning to head to, and then you can scale down to see where the market currently is and how you can enter in to follow it all the way to the top. All right. This is first, I will start with the indices. So I'm starting with US30, which is also called the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's a DJ high. Now, I am using lines, not rectangles. It makes it easy for me. It's color coded because I draw them from the higher time frames down to the lower time frame. The lower the time frames I go, there are certain colors I use. So the green shows me the strategic points and zones on the higher time frame, the purple, and it goes on down that way. All right, so not to waste any of your time, now on US30 you would see that we have been on an uptrend all the way from the very first. We have been on an uptrend, and just before the end of the year 2023, most of these indices were at their all-time high. All right, how do we know that it is an uptrend? Well, we know that in an uptrend, you have a higher high, a higher low, higher high, higher low. It keeps creating highs and highs and highs, okay? And no lows have been broken at any point. This is what it means. You see that it's been going all the way up, created a high, came down here, created a low compared to this low. And if you compare it to this, looks like an equal low, but it never created a lower low. All right, then it created a higher high all the way from 2020 to about 2021. 1 year created a high, came down here, created a higher low, higher than the previous low, okay? Then took a time, went into a range, and by the end of the year created another higher high. So currently we are on the higher high. So the overall direction of the US30 is bullish. It is an uptrend. All right, so that's on the monthly time frame. So let's scale down and see what do we have on the weekly. So on the weekly, it is still the same thing. The weekly was still having, I drew a trend line. Sorry about that. On the monthly, I drew a trend line, which is a bullish trend line, showing us that we have a move all the way from this low, all the way connecting the major dots all the way to where we are currently. On the weekly time frame, yes, we're still having US30 on the high. Now you'll notice that US30 has broken this green zone, which means that we're likely going to be seeing US30 going as high as it can. So currently US30 created a high, came here, created a low, just as we saw on the monthly, created a high, higher low, higher high, created a higher low because it's still higher than this. Then currently we have been bullish at least for the past 3-4 months thereabout. Okay, so we know on the monthly and weekly we are on an uptrend. When we come down to the daily, we're likely going to be seeing the same thing, and it is how it is. We're still very bullish on the even on the daily. So from the monthly, weekly, daily, we've been coming down to the 4-hourly, still the same thing, but there's something major about US30 now, because at least in the last few days, US30 has gone into a range, created what seemed to be a high compared to this. But as far as I'm concerned, US30 has not given us a clear direction, especially when you see this forming something like a cup and handle. So on the 4-hour time frame, the only way you can take a trade. Now, when you see an inverted cup and handle, it's telling you that the trend is likely going to be reversing. Now, the best thing to do at this point is to come in here and create somewhat of a support. Okay, you create a support somewhere there. Now, I will be confirming that US30 wants to break all the way to the downside. If it can come in here, let me look for the path tool. Okay, so if US30 comes in here, breaks this line, okay, then gives a retest somewhat, then a confirmation, then it's likely that US30 is going to come in down. Now, this is a very strong support. The green line is a very strong support. If by adventure it comes in here and breaks it all the way, then we're likely going to be seeing US30 coming all the way to touch this trend line. That may take a very long time, but it is an opportunity really for us to get all the pips that we want, and that's how many pips. If we can do this, we can get as much as about 2,500, 3,000 pips on US30 just by waiting patiently to get a confirmation. Currently, US30 is bullish, but in the short term, we're likely going to be seeing US30 coming to possibly retest this trend line down here. But right now, my advice and my counsel will be to wait. Patiently wait for a confirmation, wait for a break of this support, okay? On the hourly time frame, what do we have? Nothing major, really. Nothing major on US30, just like I said. Let's just give it a wait. Let it break this. Then we can see if we can get some pips all the way to the strong support. If it breaks the strong support, then we're likely going to be seeing US30 coming to test this trend line down here. Okay, so that's on US30. So for now, it's patience. It's patience. The year is just starting. So, stops are likely going to be taken out, before the major move starts. On S&P 500. S&P 500 is almost the same as that. Okay, but one thing that is S&P 500 is also on an uptrend, just like I explained earlier as well. It's been created a high, came down here, created a low, created a high, created a low, created an equal high. Now that is the challenge currently, because S&P 500 has created an equal high on the monthly time frame and is rejecting this strong resistance zone. An equal high on a higher time frame may signal that the trend is about to reverse. Now, it may not be that S&P 500 wants to go into a downtrend, but we're likely going to see a temporary move all the way to possibly test this trend line before the move to the upside. So we have a double top on the monthly time frame. Okay, so just as this, now the week closed with a bearish engulfing candle, so we're likely going to be seeing S&P 500 temporarily also moving to the downside. All of these indices are still very bullish, but we're likely going to be seeing some temporary move. Okay, so we can take advantage and see where we can enter in to garner some pips, at least from these temporary moves. Almost the same thing. Let's just see what we have on the daily. So basically, we have broken. Let me delete these. And okay, so we have something like this. All right, so S&P 500 has broken this low to close below the support. So what I will be waiting for, even though it looked as though it has retested and rejected, okay, but because it has already market close, we can wait for it to give us a proper retest of the support turned resistance. Okay, let me have my path tool again. Okay, so something clear as this, then we can have it move, possibly do a retest of this before it touches on the trend line. So S&P 500 could give us this as well. Okay, but we just have to be patient and get a confirmation of such. If there's no confirmation, it is advisable to stay away from the market. I always play confirmation. Even if the market is going 500 pips, 400 pips, 600 pips, I will not rush in if it doesn't give me confirmation. The aim is not to make the money. The aim first is to preserve your capital. If you lose your capital, even if there's an opportunity that comes into you, you don't have any advantage. So the aim is not for you to get in there and make all the money. You can lose everything. The aim is to first preserve your capital, then you can make the money. Okay, so NAS100 is almost the same thing. Let's see what NAS100 is giving us on the monthly. All right, so NAS100 is also rejecting the strong resistance. We're also likely going to be seeing NAS100 giving us a temporary move to the downside. Okay, so we could see NAS100 possibly doing something like this before making the run to the upside. So in the next few months thereabout, we could be seeing stocks and indices declining. Even if they are, it is temporary, because unless there's a break of this strong resistance, this particular resistance, if there's a break of it to the upside with a confirmation, then we could see, especially on my feed, we could see something like this happening. Okay, so we can see stocks moving all the way on NAS100 all the way to around 19,000, 20,000. All right, so currently all indices are bullish. All indices are on an uptrend, but temporarily we're likely going to be seeing a decline before the move to the upside. All right, so finally, let me okay, I don't primarily trade German 40, okay, but also in an uptrend, but German 40, it's not showing the clear move of a temporary move to the downside, and it's because of the closure above the strong resistance. It strongly broke the resistance. So what I think we'll be patiently waiting to see what it will do, but what I think it may want to do is to come in here, retest, and possibly go all the way to the upside. Or we have something like this happening. It comes in here breaks below this, gives us a retest. Remember, I say I play confirmation, always play confirmation. Comes in here, retest the strong support turned resistance, okay, before it gives us a move from here all the way to the upside. Whichever way we can capitalize on these moves, but always play confirmation. Okay, let's look at GBPUSD. GBPUSD in a very long time has been bearish. It's been struggling for decades. Okay, so, and the reason primarily is because it's been creating a higher high. It's been creating a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low. Then for a while it's been ranging. Okay, it broke this, created a new lower low, but then created a lower high here. But right now, with this trend line holding this price from moving all the way to the upside. Now this is on the monthly. What can happen is that, let me get my path tool again. What can happen is that GBPUSD, and you can see that even on the monthly time frame, the strength of the bulls have been very, very weak. The strength of the bulls in the last 2 months have been very weak on GBPUSD. Okay, so what I think can happen is it comes in here. If you reject the trend line, we're likely going to be seeing a reversal all the way to the downside. Very possible. But the market is the market. Anyways, the Great Britain pound has been struggling to move all the way to the upside. This can happen, and this can also happen. Okay, that we see GBPUSD for whatever reasons breaking this high, okay, possibly breaking all the way up here. It does a retest. Now this is a strong resistance zone. If it possibly breaks it, it could do a retest for us before it moves to the next zone. Always know that prices tend to move from zones to zones. Whichever way happens, we're going to have to patiently wait to see a confirmation. Always play confirmation. Right now, GBPUSD has not given us a clear direction of where it wants to go, and it's because of the sensitivity of the zone that it is. It could reject, it could get bullish strength, break to the upside and move up. Whichever way we play patience, we play confirmation. Every week I will be releasing analysis like this to help us traders to have an idea of where the market is likely going to be. Primarily, maybe not for the week, it could be for the month, or whichever way. Every week we look at it. Then by the end of the week, we take a look at the charts again and see what were our predictions and what did the market eventually do. Is the market giving us a clear sign? Is it not? Thank you so much for staying with me all this while. Please share and subscribe so that you can get more of the content I'm going to be creating across. I promise to deliver value, giving my best so that all of us can be profitable in this forex industry. Thank you so much once again. Catch you later. Bye.